Alright everyone, thank you guys for waiting so long. Sorry I put this off. I had YCS Dallas sneak preview information. I had trade show stuff to update, so I apologize. Here is the Galactic Overlord preview that I did. I did Photon Shockwave and Order of Chaos. I hope those were helpful, and I also hope this one's helpful. I'm going to bring you some tips about what cards are going to be good in the set, the longevity of a few, and then maybe some combos or some things that might help you at the sneak. For those of you guys that like to play in the tournament, maybe, I don't know, if you play each other for cards or just want to brag and say, you know, whatever. Okay, to start her off, this is Noble Knight Artorigus. It is the promo card. It is also, of course, the 000, I guess super rare. So I don't memorize his poem that he has in there, but it's interesting. The art's fantastic, and there's actually, if you want to go look at this up on like Wiki, I think there's actual, he's named after a real person or fable. Okay, Watt Dragon. I don't think this is real like actual support for Watts. It is a normal dragon that you can play with the Hieratic dragons, but it also is, in my opinion, like the light equal to Summon Skull. 6-star, 25 1,000. I think Summon Skull may have been 1,200, but for a long time, Summon Skull was the most powerful single sacker you could play. And the art on this card is fantastic. I don't know if you play this, like I said, with Hieratic Dragons or Watts, but I just think it's pretty sweet. Okay, I do know you play this card. Yes, it's an 8-star. Yes, it's got 0/0, but that's not the point. The point is to use this. Think of this as like a Mystic Shine Ball for the Hieratic Dragon deck. It is essential to play it, but you don't want it in your hand. Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, but the point of Heretics is to get it from the deck. So if there's cards that help you discard, you do want this card to be discarded to the grave, because there is a guy coming up later that you remove like 3 normals from your grave. I think it's the 8-star, so we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, Overlay Owl. I think it's a looks like Owl's a Gahul or something, but I think it's not that great of a card because I think Curavolt is better. It's very similar. You know, it's got better attack and defense, obviously, than Curavolt does, but you pay 600 life points and you detach a material. I don't know if you'd want to ever do it to your own. Maybe that's good for some reason that we don't know about, but most likely it's not. This could really screw up Dulka's, not Dulka's, because he could just negate it. You know, it could really screw up Logia, really bad. Logia probably just negate the summon. Might as well use them. You know, Zen mains would be hurt by this, I think. So if you want to play it cool, you can then detach something from Zen mains and Icarus. I don't know what you want to do. Okay, Tasuke Knight. I think it's actually pretty decent. It's a light 1700, so it's got good stats. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, if this card is in your graveyard and you had no cards in hand, so everybody's going to immediately think Infernities, but you know, there's other decks I'm sure this could work in. You could special summon this card from the graveyard in the battle phase, so it's kind of like a Battle Fader or a Swift Scarecrow, but you can only use it once per duel. The good thing about it is, if you have no cards and he's on the field, at least you can attack with him next turn, or maybe you'll get lucky and draw a 4-star and you can exceed. So there may be some broken things to do with this. There may not be. I would love to hear your input on this. Okay, Gaga Gardna. Kind of cool art. It reminds me of, oh, I don't remember his name. There's a structured deck card, the Exceeds starter deck, I guess, or whatever. The one with Utopian, it has a card that looks a lot like this. So when an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, you can special summon from your hand, so it's kind of like another hand trap. When this face-up card is targeted for an attack, because when you special summon it, guys, the amount of monsters in the field changed, and your opponent can then redeclare their attack on whatever monster. So they have to choose the monster they first declared an attack. But since this says direct attack, then therefore they can, you know, they can't declare another direct attack. They have to attack this guy, and obviously it says special summon, so you're going to special summon in defense mode, face-up defense. But then it does say you can discard a card, and it won't be destroyed by battle. You know, that one time by that battle. So that's pretty decent. Discarding a card's not fantastic, and he's not that great of a hand trap. I mean, Gore's is still better. This is probably, I don't even probably need to talk about this card, but I sure will. Of course I want it. Everybody wants it. I hope it's just a super, but I'm worried that they're going to upgrade it. I think it's a rare in Japan, so shoot, Pot of, I don't know, Duality, Dark Arm Dragon. There's been some rares that have been upgraded all the way to secret, so I will hope this doesn't get hit like that. Cannot be special summon, which means a lot of shenanigans can stop. You know, it's a machine and it's got 800, so there could have been some stupid combos. Inferno Reckless Summon. I guess you could shrink it and the machine dupe it. There would have been some stupid things. Anyway, it says during your main phase 1 of the card, its normal summon, you contribute this face-up card, draw 2 cards, and enter your end phase. You can't special summon monsters. So it has a lot of things stopping you. So those previous things I just said, I don't know why I said them. Sorry about that, guys. But I mean, think about it. What you can do is you normal summon during the main phase 1. You set some cards in your back row. And then you pop it off for 2 draws. So it's like a faster version of maybe a Cyber Valley or something similar. It's still very, very good. Overlay Eater, I think it's interesting. It's a Reptile Light. It's a 2-star. It doesn't have any good stats. I don't really know what else you could do with it. But the effects, it's okay. During your main phase, you can banish this card in your graveyard. Attach an Exceed material from an Exceed monster your opponent controls to the Exceed monster you control. The idea is very cool. If they could put that in a Magic and Trap form, I would think about it. I mean, but the problem is you got to remember, even if you put it in Magic and Trap form, the odds of you having an Exceed when they have an Exceed, and I don't know if you're allowed to have 3 Exceeds on a 2 Exceed monster. I don't remember what the rules are on that, but I just don't know if this would be very playable, even if it was a light fairy or something else. Okay, Hammer Shark. It's a fish. It's got 1700 attack and it's a 4-star. Good enough for remove from play fish, or if you want to play the big Coquelinth or whatever his name is, this is a good card because its effect is fantastic. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can decrease this card's level by 1 and special summon a level 3 or lower water from your hand. Doesn't have to be a fish, just water. Fantastic effect. It reminds me of the other shark, Wind Up Shark. I just think it's a good card. So it reminds me a little bit like of a Marauding Captain for fish. So, good card. Probably one of the better commons. Okay, this guy, I don't know if you guys read the Konami articles, but this guy was talked about this last week. I like him. He reminds me of Swift Guy, the Fierce Knight. I think that's his name. It came in like a 10. You could just drop him on the field. He was 2300. If your opponent controls a card and you control no cards, you can normal summon this card without tributing. So that's really nice. If you control no Magic and Trap when this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate Magic and Trap until the end of the damage step. Okay, a lot of you guys don't understand what that means. Mirror Force, Deep Prison, all those type of cards are before the damage step even. You're still in the battle phase. Okay. You haven't even got to damage yet. So in other words, they can't respond. If they're going to respond with the damage step card, it's going to be something that changes attack and defense. It's going to change the battle position or whatever. Okay, so really good card actually. I think it'll see some play. And it's a bouncer card, which talk about here in a second. There's more bouncers right here. Blade Bouncer, 1800 4-star, always a good thing. Once per turn at the end of the damage step. So once again, if this card attacked, and your opponent still controls a monster, in other words, if either this didn't kill it or they just have another monster on the field, you can discard a card and this card can attack again. I don't love the discarding a card thing, but the next guy can help you with that. So let's look at him. Phantom Bouncer, fantastic card. Similar to a Monarch in a way, 6 stars, 2400, 1200 defense. I think Monarchs have 1000. When this card is destroyed and sent from the field to the graveyard, so destroyed by any means, which is nice, you can add 2 bouncer cards from your deck to your hand. And I will fast forward really quick down to the bottom here. Let's see if I can find it without taking too long. There's a bouncer trap card. We'll just jump right to it. And I went past it, of course. That's what I did. Okay, there it is. Bouncer Guard. Target one face-up bouncer monster you control. This turn, that target cannot be targeted by card effects or destroyed by battle, and your opponent's monster must target that monster for any attacks they declare this turn. So, you know, that 2400 guy could pose a problem. And this card is, I guess, would you guys compare it to Safe Zone? It's pretty interesting. So let's fast forward back up to here. Okay, so we're back to Phantom Bouncer. So you could add that card and just one of your bouncer monsters to your hand. So it's interesting. You know, you could always Phantom Bouncer could die, add a Blade Bouncer and something else to your hand, discard it for Blade Bouncer's effect. I'm not saying it's broken or anything, but I really think it's pretty decent for commons. Okay, the butterflies, butterfly assassins. The cool idea behind the card. Of course, the art's not bad, and they kind of work together pretty well. There's some magic and trap to support them as well, and I really like their Exceed a lot. It's not got a high stats, but it's got a pretty darn good effect. So let's talk about this. They're all warriors. And this one's dark. I think they're all dark. Once per turn, when a monster your opponent controls changes its battle position, and their Exceed monster does make your opponent like change its face down defense position card to face up attack. So this could combo well with that. You could target that monster, and that target loses 1,000 attack and defense. I'm not saying that's going to happen very often with the face down, but I don't know. You could always play enemy controllers. There's just things you can do. So this is a YuGiOh. I think it's pretty decent, I guess. It's 1800 4-star. I always like that. When your opponent takes battle damage from another monster's attack, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, it loses attack equal to that battle damage. That's interesting. Okay, this is like a support card for the Phantom Butterfly Assassins. Since stats aren't garbage, it's a light and 4-star, so you can Exceed. You can maybe play some Chaos. I don't know yet. I don't think all the cards are out for this archetype yet. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one level 4 lower Phantom Butterfly Assassin monster from your deck, which it's a searcher. So pretty darn good. I mean, this card dies and you bring out the big 1800 girl. So not horrible. Okay, just a random machine kind of thrown in here. 1800 4-star. What did I just say? I like it. But the effects is kind of like, I don't know. When this card is normal summoned, you can increase the level of all machine monsters you currently control by 1. Okay, well, I'm not sure. I guess you could play it in gadgets and make them 5 and bring out Zenmayo or Adrius or Tyrus or I don't know. When this card attacks a defense position monster, it gets piercing damage, so that's actually pretty decent. And then if this card attacks, it is changed to this defense position at the end of the damage step, and it's got 100 defense. So a decent effect. It's got piercing. It's kind of like a spear dragon if you want to think about it that way. It's got piercing and it changes to defense mode at the end, but if it doesn't die, the next turn you can just change it right back. So that's okay. I'm not sure if that'll get a lot of play. It'll probably get some decent amount of play at the sneak. So if you're at the sneak and you want to do well, I would grab some of these. It's got piercing, so hey, whatever. Okay, and this is something you should not run at the sneak. I mean, I guess you could. I guess you could just top deck it. Okay, so this is one of the big cards that you're supposed to bring out. There's a whole bunch of these big guys. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by controlling no cards, and cannot be special summoned any other ways. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn this card is special summoned. While this card is face up on the field, you cannot activate or set cards. That's nuts. In other words, he will be it. Okay, you can't activate any cards or set any cards. During each of your standby phases, send all cards in your hand to the graveyard or destroy this card. So even if you drew a monster, that's it. I don't know. It says you can't activate or set any cards. I guess you could still normal summon another card that turn, but you couldn't activate any of the effect of that card. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Alright, Scoop Shooter I think will be a good card for the sneak. It's a 1400 and it's going to kill anything in defense it battles. So if he's bigger, he kills it by the fact that he's bigger. If he's smaller, it says that it kills it by his effect without applying damage. So you don't even take any damage. So, good card for the sneak. I don't know about past that. Okay, we're on to the Heretic Dragon. This is the first one. The 4-star 1700, and it's Newt. Is how I pronounce it. Who knows how it's Newt? I like Newt. It sounds cooler. Once per turn, when this face-up card on the field is targeted by the effect of a magic, trap, or effect monster, so you could use your own, you could special summon 1 dragon normal monsters from your hand, deck, or graveyard and make its attack and defense 0. So you could bring out the big 8-star. You could make Thunder End Dragon very easily. You could do Alexandrite Dragon. I don't know what you want to play. That Watt Dragon I was telling you guys about. So there's some definite options here, and there's a good 6-star, or excuse me, rank 6 Exceed coming up. We'll talk about on the next video. Okay, Heretic Dragon of Gebib, or Gebib. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, sorry, it's a 4-star 1800, so good card. So it destroys it by battle, it sends it to the graveyard. You can special summon 1 dragon normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Again, you can just keep bringing out these guys. This is like similar to like a Shura, Blackwing Shura. When this card is tributed, special summon 1 heretic normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So he, to me, is like the heart. He's the part of the engine of the deck. Hopefully he'll just be a common, even though I think he should be a super. Okay, I'm going a little crazy here, sorry. He's one of the twin brothers, the Esset, and I'll show the other one here in a second. You can normal summon this card without tributing, so a 5-star 1900, it's not garbage, it's still playable, but its original attack will become 1000. Okay, because you're just going to combo it. You're just going to do more stuff with it, so listen up. Once per turn, you can target 1 dragon-type normal monster on the field, which should not be hard to keep those on the field. The level of all face-up heretic monsters you control becomes the level of that target. So, if you play into Alexandrite Dragon, you got a bunch of 4s. You play Watt Dragon, you got a bunch of 6s. You play the heretic 8-star, obviously you have a bunch of 8s. So, and there's going to be some crazy stuff you can do with rank 8 exceeds. Some big, giant, magical, powerful, special, super awesome cannon. I can't remember the name of it. It's like crazy a long name. I think it's 3 8s and it's broken. Maybe 10s. I don't remember, guys. There's some good stuff coming out later, but Thunder End Dragon, it's a good time to pick those up. When this card is tributed, special summon 1 dragon type normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And so anytime you tribute these guys, shenanigans. Shenanigans! Just call it out whenever you do it. So here's the other brother. See, did you notice that? He's flying that way. He's flying that way. He's got the sun. He's got the moon. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I thought I would mention it. Okay, Nepthit. It's just fun to say Nepthit. You can special summon this card from your hand by tributing a heretic monster you control. So very easy to get these guys going. He's got an extra 100 attack than his brother because he's evil at night. Once per turn, you can tribute a heretic monster, except this card, from your hand or side of the field to target 1 monster your opponent controls, and you just get to destroy it. So it's a lot of tributing. When this card is tributed, you can special summon a normal blah blah blah. Same effect over and over and over. Okay, Tefnut is awesome, or Tefnuit. I think he's fantastic. I like the art on him. And 6-star 21 is not horrible. So if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's exactly like Cyber Dragon. Pretty much same stats, whatever. This card cannot attack during the turn of a special summon, but do you care? I don't care. When this card is tributed, special summon a dragon normal monster, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, throw him on the field, tribute him away. That's kind of the point. You don't care if you get to attack, because he's probably not going to stay in the field long. You play 3 of this guy, in my opinion, because you special, you use another one from your hand, you tribute him away. When he's tributed, you bring out another one. The other one that comes out brings out another one, and shenanigans. Okay, Heretic Dragon of Su. 6-star 22, so another 6-star. You can special summon this card from your hand by tributing heretic monster you control, so it's similar to the one above. Once per turn, you can tribute a heretic monster, except this card from your hand to target 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls and destroy that one. So I like this guy a lot, obviously. And he's got the last effect just like the rest. Asar is interesting. I don't know. You can special summon this card from your hand by banishing a light dragon monster and a dragon type normal from the graveyard, which should be very easy. The thing I do like about it, it says if this card would be destroyed, you could tribute other face-up paralytic monsters you control instead. So a 2600, that's kind of like a 6 Samurai. It's not horrible. I think you should maybe just play one though, or none. And here's the big boy. The art's decent. Sutek, I guess, Sutek, who knows how to pronounce it, but it cannot be normal summoned or set. But he's a 2800 8-star. Of course he can't be. First, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 dragon normal monsters. Remember I talked about that at the beginning of the video, that there will be a reason to run a bunch of normals. Yes, and discarding cards, getting them out of your hand is not a bad thing. So you banish them from the grave, then once per turn you can banish another dragon-type monster from your graveyard. Doesn't have to be normal, just a dragon-type monster from the graveyard to target any card in the field and destroy it. It is once per turn though, so it might be a little hard to spam these guys onto the field, but should be pretty easy to get this guy out. At least once a duel. Okay, Lagosuko, or Lagosuko, I think is how you pronounce him. When this card is normal summoned, you can send an Evil Soul monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is not bad because you kind of want to set up for those volcano plays. So it's not horrible, and you're playing Avarice in the deck anyway. When this card is flipped face up, you can special summon an Evil Tile monster from your deck. So it's a little strange that Evil Tile special summons an Evil Tile, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, if you've got that Evil Force or a controller, and you want to bring that Najashu out of your deck as quickly as possible. So, not a bad card actually. I'm not sure if I would normal summon it or let it flip, it just depends on the situation. So, maybe play one, and he's a 3, so not bad. Darwino, I would never play this guy, 5-star 2200, but then again, I'm known to be wrong. When this card is special summoned by the effect of an Evil Tile, you can target one face-up monster in the field and increase its level by 2. I just don't think it's good. But hey, who knows. Okay, we're going to end this video with the Insectors, so I'm going to talk about, I think there's 4 of them here, maybe 5, and then we'll get to the other stuff later. Okay, once per turn, you can equip one Insector monster from your hand or the graveyard to this card. So basic effect. While this card is equipped to an Insector monster, you can look at all the set cards your opponent controls. That's not a bad thing, especially if you've got some MSTs in hand, or you want to play that heavy and you don't know if a Starlight Road is down. While this card is equipped to a monster, increase it by the level by 1, and it gains attack and defense equal to this card's attack and defense, which is stupid. It's only 100. But it is a 1-star. I don't know. I don't know if, I guess you could always attach Hornet or something that would, a Dragonfly or Centipede that would increase its level. But then it would be 4. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Not sure if I play that. Insector Gruff. Once per turn, you can equip one Insector monster from your hand to the graveyard to this card, which is normal. While this card is equipped to a monster, increase the equipped monster's level by 2 and gains attack and defense equal to this card's attack and defense, respectively, which is 500. So not that great either. And then it says if you can send this equipped card to the graveyard to target one monster you control, increase its level by up to 2. I don't see this getting any play either, so just going to kind of skip over it. Okay, now Wig is actually, in my opinion, playable. It's a 4-star, so it's a little weird in that it doesn't really work with the rest of the deck, but it's decent. I mean, once per turn, you can equip an Insector monster from your hand or graveyard to this card. While this card is equipped to a monster, the equipped monster gains attack and defense equal to this. So 1,000, that's pretty nice, actually, 1,000. When this equipped card is sent to the graveyard, the monster this card was equipped to gains 1,000 attack until the end phase. So I like it. It's not, I don't know if it'll be played, but it's okay. It's decent. You can banish one insect monster in your graveyard to target one face-up Insector monster you control. Equip this card from the graveyard to that target. So, okay, so it's a 5-star 2,000. The effect of YuGiOh GALACTIC can only be used once per turn. Fine, whatever. Its original attack becomes 2,000. So, turn a Dragonfly into 2,000. But I mean, Gigamantis is better anyway. When the equipped monster attacks a defense magician monster, inflict piercing battle damage. That's okay. I just don't see it being. I don't see any of the new Insectors really being played at all. And then next time, on the next video, we will start on the light rays. So tune in for that. Let me know what you think about the cards we mentioned in here, and thank you guys for watching. Click that like button. Later, guys.